Welcome to the McCord List today. I'm so happy you're here, you guys. I'm Rachel McCord, your talk show bestie, and I'm thrilled. Y'all, today is going to be a great day. We have a great show ahead for you, and I'm thrilled because I'm going to be honest, it is my favorite thing to sit down with some of my most amazing friends and hear their stories. I mean, it's crazy. I'm not going to tell you, I will tell you actually, but you're not going to believe how many times it happens where I'll sit down with a friend who I've known for years and I'll prep for the show for you guys and I'll read their bio and I'll be like, hold up, like this person's like really legit. Which I know everyone's legit who comes on the show, I should assume. But it's just that like, it's crazy when you sit down with them and you hear their stories and what they've done and what they've accomplished. And it's so inspiring just to see that, you know, the people that you hang out with every single day, you can just be blown away. And today is one of those days I am blown away by our guest. It is a power couple above power couples. Their names are Hannah and Jodi Hannah. They are incredible people who are making huge strides in schools. They are in hundreds of schools helping over 100,000 children, students, be able to cope with some of the things that are coming at them, the stressors, the emotional challenges that we face. I don't know about you, but I have been on this journey and I have literally felt like there is so much that can be done if we listen to our hearts, if we're tuned in. But here's the deal. Life is tough, you guys. Like, you're going to go through stuff sometimes and be like, oh my goodness, like, what is going on? Storms are going to come. Challenges are going to come. And the point of the McCord List today, this show is about helping you navigate those storms, how to feel inspired in your day-to-day life, because it's hard. I mean, it is so challenging sometimes, like being a parent, right? Like walking through those seasons of parenting where like the littles are pushing back and pushing forward. I was talking to one of my friends the other day and she was like, Rachel, like, I know you feel like it's hard right now, but like, it just gets harder. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I thought that like, I was kind of feeling like maybe this was just no, it gets harder. It's different. It's different challenges. And isn't that the same with everything? We work so hard to get through school, then to get our dream job, and then it gets harder. Challenges come, hurdles come, and you're like, wait a minute, like what's going on? How do I deal with this? So the conversations in this show are breaking down the things that people have learned through the burn, as I like to call it, but what they've learned by falling on their face. Like, you're going to hear the stories of where I fall on my face all the time. And I'm like, wait, why did I do that? Why did this happen, right? But I am the kind of girl who's geared for growth. I don't know about you at home, but I love to grow as a human being, as a person, as a contributor to society. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. So I genuinely challenge myself. I level up every single day so that I can give more of myself in the way that fits. Now, my hurdle right now, I'm just going to straight up tell you, is that I'm trying to give more and more of myself until there's like nothing left. And that's not the move. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. But if you don't walk through these journeys of your life and you don't lean in, if you don't stay in the game when it gets tough, then you're not going to be able to get through these moments in your life where you've learned something, right? Like, think about if you were just learning how to drive. And I was like, okay, we're going to go on a road trip and we're going to go to Denver. And we go to Denver and it's like, okay, this is like a vibe, right? There's like people driving around, cool. And then I'm like, okay, now we're going to go up the Rockies. And it's snowy and the wheels are moving a little funny and things are getting wild. It's going to be a challenge and you're going to have to learn how to navigate those windy roads. But guaranteed, if you learn how to navigate them again and again and again, and you go back to some fundamental truths that you've learned along the way, things that you hold on to, things that you know, if I'm facing this, this is what I do. For me personally, I'm a God girl. I'm sure you guys know this by now. We talk about faith all the time. We talk about fitness. We talk about all kinds of things. People come on my show from many different beliefs and many different backgrounds, and you're probably watching this like one person's coming from one side, another the complete other side. This is not the show where we like battle it out with each other. Like, we are all on a journey of truth. And all I want for you and for me and everyone around us is that we find truth, is that we're on this journey. But for me and my house, I'm a God girl. I'm a Jesus girl. And so I go to the word. I go to what Yeshua says in the Bible to talk about what to do in these moments. What wisdom can I get from Solomon? What wisdom can I get from David? How can I grow as a person? How can I be better today than I was before? And the one thing that I know is no matter how scary things have been with my heart surgery, my rehab journey, before that, dealing with major depression and ideations, dealing with just the challenges of starting companies, of living as an entrepreneur, where it's like finances are up and then you're like, wow, there they go. Like all those journeys, what I've learned is I know what to do in the storm. I know what to do when it's hard. I get low, y'all. I get on the ground. I pray. I started my day this morning with praise and prayer. And I felt so illuminated from the inside out. I felt so activated. I felt so inspired and encouraged. And so as I have a day like today where I'm busy and I'm running through doing shows and hosting parties, literally, I do these things. And then I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, what's most important is that I remember to just walk and abide with the Lord, just to be at peace, just to know that, you know what, like I don't need to serve an audience of multitudes. I'm here for an audience of one. And if God is pleased with me, I'm happy. And let me tell you, that is major growth for this girl because I have spent many, many, many years of my life struggling to feel worthy, struggling to feel like I deserve love. In fact, growing up with trauma and abuse, I felt like I needed to earn love. Like I wasn't lovable unless I XYZ. And now I don't live like that anymore. So I can show up authentically for you and know that some of you are gonna hate me, and that's okay. Some of you are gonna love me and we're gonna be talk show besties, and hopefully you're gonna hit me up on social media. We're gonna hang out, we're gonna be friends. And that would be my prayer. And my other prayer would be that you watch these interviews, you have these conversations, and you get activated. You feel the stirring in your soul, and you're like, you know what? I want to ride through the Rockies. I'm okay with the challenges. I'm okay with the fear. I'm okay with facing the unimaginable, because I know that if and when I do that, I can find the peace within myself. I can find the strength because I'm leaning on one who's larger than me. If you're just like sitting there all with yourself, of course it's lonely. You guys, I moved to Hollywood in 2009, like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, had no idea what to expect. I had grown up in trailer parks. I had no idea what my journey would be. I cannot believe I get to shoot in this beautiful studio in LA. We have an amazing partnership with Studio Place, and my producer's incredible, and I have so much fun, and I'm getting better every day, hopefully. But I'm having this season of my life where I get to not only share these stories with you, but I can also take those messages and I can say, okay, how do I propel it forward? How can I help you share your story? How can I help you get unstuck? And I think that that at its core is what we're here for. That is what we're here for. That is who we are. And that is the beauty of this life. We cannot just sit and like receive. If you're in a wounded place, you do need to receive. You need to rest. You need to restore. You need to find your footing and your foundation. But as you go through this life, there's going to be a moment where it's time to give back, because your healing will create a ripple effect of 1 million people around you. If you heal, when you heal, you will change the world. And this conversation today, you guys, I think it's going to really inspire that for you, because you're going to hear from two incredible thought leaders, Jodi and Eric, who are going out on the trenches. They're hosting camps. They're doing programs. They're creating online programs. I mean, they are jumping in with the youth, the leaders of tomorrow, to help them, usher them into where they were created to be. And that's what matters. That is the moment. That is what we're here for. It's like you learn something and you do it. Learn, do, teach. Learn, do, teach. So I hope you learn here. I hope you do. And then I hope you go on and teach. And if you want to do it with me, let's do it. That's what the McCordless Media Network is all about. The Media Network, the McCordless Media Network really pushes out all the content, not only the McCordless Today, but many shows for incredible thought leaders who have written books, who want to write books, who are coaches, who are on their way to become coaches. And my purpose and my passion, genuinely, I finally figured it out, I feel like. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I've been on a journey for so long. Like, who do I want to be when I grow up? And I feel like now, more than ever, I'm the happiest girl. Because every day I get to sit down with incredible humans like yourself, and I get to speak life into you. I get to tell you that what you have to say matters, and to not give up. If you feel like God is telling you to share a story, you feel this burning within you, it is time. You've got to get unstuck. You've got to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. Don't be afraid. because you are here for such a time as this. I will tell you, as a girl whose heart has started twice in her lifetime, that you don't know how many heartbeats you have. And I don't want you to waste one. I know that one day I will pass on from this planet, but I hope these messages will lead on. I hope these stories will go on and change generations to come. Because it's not about just sharing a message, it's about sharing a message of hope. It's not about inspiring you just to share another story in press or another wound that you've dealt with. It's about actually feeling empowered to share a message of light, to share that message with the world, because people need that. Encouragement is to put courage in the heart. There are a lot of scared people out there who do not feel that courage. And if you're one of them, I see you and I get it, and you are not alone. Hit me up. Let's do life together. You're loved. You belong here. This show is going to be epic. I can't wait. Don't go anywhere. We're on the McCord list today. I'm Rachel McCord. Hi, I'm Rachel McCord, executive producer, host, and creator of the McCord List Today. Welcome back to the McCord List Today. I'm Rachel McCord, and I'm so excited, you guys. As I promised, we are going to get into my favorite topic, all about mental health. We are sitting down with Jodi Hannah. Hi. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you again. You are the founder and CEO of Ambassadors of Compassion.
Yes.
You've had over 100,000 kiddos come through this program. I just say kiddos because I'm a mom. I feel like you're just supposed to say that. Tell me about this program and what you guys are doing.
Well, we started in 2010, Ambassadors of Compassion. Our background was movie making, and we did a particular movie called Meet in Miami with some friends, and we got an amazing offer from Warner Brothers at that time to distribute the movie, which as an independent filmmaker is like what you want, right? But my wife and I felt, and even my dad, who we were working with at the time, said, could we use the film to celebrate the uncelebrated? And so we blocked off Hollywood Boulevard, brought a couple thousand less fortunate children in limousines. We gave them brand new hearing aids and brand new glasses so they could see a movie and hear a movie clearly for the first time. The celebrities from ER, Grey's Anatomy, The Office, they were all there, but they weren't allowed on the red carpet. They were the fans asking for the kids' autographs, giving Beanie Babies and jewelry. And over 9 months with Starkey Hearing Foundations, Tyson Foods, Lens Crafters, and many more, we raised $120 million for families in need. And it was powerful in Mexico with the president's wife, Australia, Canada, and the US. But during that time, I began to notice that it was, seeing somebody get a pair of glasses. I remember one young lady, she got glasses, she looked at her 6-year-old daughter and said, I knew you were going to be beautiful. You know, and kids hearing for the first time is amazing. But wherever we went around the country, we noticed that there was something more. There was the breakdown of emotional health of a generation. And so not only were kids needing to see and hear for the first time, there was a heart issue we saw. And so as a result, I started Ambassadors of Compassion in 2010.
Wow, what a freaking beautiful story of seeing a need and meeting it. What do you feel like the implications have been for these people who have struggled their whole lives and don't even know what it's like to have the things that we take for granted?
Well, that's a good question. I would say, over the years we've been asked what is the root cause? And of course, we talk about social media and there's a lot of things that do affect mental and emotional health. But for us, one of the big root causes we've seen is unresolved hurt and pain. If this generation doesn't learn to release its hurt and pain, it really struggles. People can tend to name, blame, and shame others when you get triggered. If you don't learn to release that hurt and pain, it divides families, divides businesses, and eventually a nation. It affects productivity. Right now, 75% of all high school and college students have quit a job because work is too emotionally challenging. Now, if we don't change that in the next 7 to 10 years, from every partner we work with, from Kaiser Permanente on, if we don't change that, we'll have an unrecognizable workforce and an unrecognizable nation. So there's a lot of contributing factors, but unresolved hurt and pain is a big one. And when you learn how to forgive, in Ambassadors we teach kids, one of the things we teach is face it, release it, replace it. When you learn how to forgive and you release that hurt and pain, grades improve, relationships improve, your focus improves, mental health improves. So we see that as not the only thing we do with Ambassadors, but a big contributor is unresolved hurt and pain.
Wow. I've done a lot of studying just as a mom to see the implications of children growing up in a broken family.
Yeah.
And sadly, it feels more normal now that someone would come from a broken household than their parents being together. And so many of my friends, even who had babies the same time that I had Jude, they have gone through that. You know, those first couple years of having a child is so difficult, and you're really trying to do the best you can, but you know, you're learning stuff that you've never known before. And so I think there can be such a challenge. Have you seen that some of these children are dealing with hurt from their families more so? Is it outside influences? What are the challenges?
It's a combination. I mean, a lot from family. There's a lot from social media, right? I mean, this is the first time where a lot of kids students don't want to be leaders, because if they're leaders, they're made fun of. You know, we work with a lot of sports teams, and we're seeing that, you know, being leaders when we were growing up was a thing you strive to be, but a lot of times if you're a leader, you can be made fun of. So there's mocking, there's being made fun of, there's things with social media, there's things with family, there's things with friends. And, you know, one of the things that we've learned, even with our own family, you know, my family, we have to work all the time. You know, I'm so grateful that I have children who really are open to this, and they're teaching me, and my wife's teaching me, and I'm teaching them, but you know, we're not a perfect family, but we've learned how to talk through things. And so I think one of the most important things is being able to have a safe place to communicate and talk about the real issues facing a student's life, or in our case, an adult's life.
Eric, you mentioned how leadership is so important, right, for these children to learn, but I also feel like leadership is so important for us as caregivers, teachers, parents, to be able to help children eradicate this bullying. I know these programs are in schools. Can you talk a little bit about what might be lacking from a leadership perspective to help these children be able to navigate it?
So we are seeing a huge change. I mean, we started in 2010, and we were having to tell people, this is coming. That's not a fun place to be. This is coming. This is coming, you know, and you're way ahead of the wave. And some people are seeing it for sure, and others are like, what? You know, and that's a hard place to be. Now we're right in the right time for such a time as this. We're seeing schools all across the country. There's desperation. There's a need. Parents are desperate. And so because of that, we're able to come in with the Ambassadors program. We teach kids how to identify their goals and dreams. We teach kids how to overcome their negative experiences, how to forgive, how to step away from negative influences. And when you put this together, and there's about 5 things, we do a kickoff in a school or at a stadium. Then they go through weekly discussions in small groups every week. They go through ask yourself, think about this, notable quotes, and they're held accountable to real life calls to action. So if you're teaching somebody, like a coach, let's say he wants to teach his athletes how to play a sport, he doesn't just show video and talk about it. They have to go out and practice. If you want to learn an instrument, you have to go out and practice. It's the same way for the soul. You don't just get the information, you have to put it into application. And so when the students do that and they come back each week and they're held accountable, that's where we see the transformation begin to happen. So we're seeing a lot of great leadership at the school level for sure, at the principal level, superintendent level, and then all the way down to the teachers and the coaches levels who are with the students every single day. They know what the kids need. They're working with them constantly, whether it's in a sport or even a teacher with math or history.
Wow. You know, it's interesting because you think of the saying, hurt people hurt people. Mm-hmm. I always like to add, and helped people help people. So it feels to me like these children are going through these programs and they're actually learning and they're growing. Are you noticing that bullying is going down, that impacts in the school is changing?
Yeah, just to give you an example, in University of Alabama, this is our 9th year at the University of Alabama, as tracked by the University of Alabama, students with a 3.0 increased their grades by 9.4% after they took the program. Any student with a 2.0 or less increased their grades by 43%. This is our 9th year at Santa Ana Unified School District here in Orange County. A little over 12,000 students have gone through the program. As tracked by a principal, 88% less assertive discipline infractions.
Wow.
37% increase in A's and a whopping 48% decrease in F's.
Wow.
52% less unexcused absences. So when students learn to let go of hurt and pain, they release that. Great things come in. Grades go up, attendance goes up, less bullying, right? Less aggressive, deviant behavior. So 100%. And it has a lot to do with just letting go and learning how to process through the area of forgiveness and setting goals and dreams.
Yeah, and it feels like if I'm able to process these feelings and let that go and then have better grades, I'm doing better in school, I feel like a winner, I have hope in my heart, and I can take that into the world. It'd be so exciting to see the transformation that happens in the adult life, because when you're struggling in school and you just take on that label, it's like in my house, I'm like a no label world. Like you cannot be like, oh, like that person's bad. Even like on shows, even when there's like a clear bad guy on a show, I'm like, well, we don't know his heart. It's not our job to judge. We don't label, we don't blanket, because the problem I've noticed, even like with people that I love very dearly, very close to me, they'll struggle with being like, oh, like if I bring up something, it's like, oh, I'm a failure, or I'm bad at this, or it's like, no, this is a moment we missed the mark.
Right.
We can make something different. Right. Now you talked about your family. They're all here. Hi guys, y'all are so cute. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how people can bring this at home, because I know that unfortunately, not every child will get to go through this program, but surely for the parents at home listening, they're gonna want to know, I wanna know, asking for a friend. Like we wanna know, how can we implement this at home? You're doing that with your family.
Yeah, so just one note, first of all, so going back about, researchers say that you can actually get that hurt and pain stored in your cells and organs. And every time your heart beats, it can reprogram that same pain, anger, or sometimes rage. And so when you learn to release it, you actually are getting it out of your cells and organs, right? And so that's why it's so important to learn how to let go, learn how to forgive, learn how to overcome your negative experiences. Why a person changes, it's not because they intellectually decide they're going to be free of those things. There is a process, and when you teach that process through Ambassadors of Compassion, that's why we see remarkable things happen. And so yes, now we, from either on, go to Ambassadors of Compassion, either on Facebook now or on social media, TikTok, or we're literally just providing it now for families, because over the years, we've only worked in schools. And so I've had parents say for so many years, you're not in my school. Where can I get this? And the answer was like, I'm sorry, you can't. But now we're actually making it available to families and for their children as well.
This is incredible. And I think it's so great when you know that there are programs for your children with leaders who you trust. It's so nice to have you on the show, because I feel like our viewers can see and learn and hear from you and how you're learning and growing and then helping make an impact in the world. What do you think that is needed most in the world right now?
Well, I've said it a few times already, and I was actually invited to do a TEDx talk on forgiveness. But I believe that if we can learn to forgive, someday I'd love to have a national day of forgiveness, right? Where everybody decides that they're going to let go and forgive somebody who's hurt or offended them. But I believe politically, some of the biggest division we have in our country and our families is the inability to know how to release that hurt and pain, right? We're always going to get hurt. We're always going to get offended, right? But if we can learn how to let it go, right, it won't control us. And so I think that's one of the biggest things. I think if the world, starting with our own nation, could learn how to forgive, starting with their own families, and then in business, because we get hurt in our jobs, and then as a nation, I believe that would be a radical change for our country.
So good. Okay, don't go anywhere, you guys. We'll be right back right after this. Welcome back to the McCord List. Today, I'm Rachel McCord. We are sitting down with Jodi Hannah. You are crushing it with Ambassadors of Compassion and making a huge impact. We were just talking about how important it is for forgiveness in our hearts, not just for children, but you have helped over 100,000 children, putting programs into schools that are making a huge impact. And there's word on the street that there's a story about how this is impacting someone's life.
Well, we've had over 100,000 students go through the program, and we started in schools, and now we do kickoffs in stadiums. Last year it was the Rose Bowl. They get 10 credits towards graduation when they finish. Now we partner with Santa Ana College and Las Positas College, and the students get to go through the program at a college, and they have an official college transcript, and it's really exciting because mental health is a big concern. So we're able to partner with some incredible organizations. But we have thousands of stories. But one quick story, Anna, she lived in Riverside County. She got in a fight every single day, sometimes twice a day. She got kicked out of 16 schools, and the last school she got kicked out of, she punched the teacher in the face. And they kicked her out, and about 2 weeks later, they brought in our Ambassadors of Compassion program, and they told Andy she could come back on one condition: she had to take the program. And she decided 3 days if she even wanted to come back to school. But she did, she agreed to. And the first day of the program, you have to identify a goal, a dream you have for your life. And believe it or not, she identified she wanted to be a law enforcement officer. And then the next week, you have to identify who are the people that keep you from your dream that you have to step away from. and then who are those that support your dream that you can embrace. She realized if she was going to be a law enforcement officer, she'd have to rest half her family who were huge in the gangs. She decided that day to go through the process of forgiving her family. She went on to graduate with a 4.0, went on to University of Alabama, graduated with honors, and then my wife and I had a chance to produce the Lombardi Awards for CBS a few years back, and we had Rudy from the movie give her the Ambassador Compassion Leadership Award for Perseverance, and she's now becoming a law enforcement officer. But the reason why I say that is the soil's good, metaphorically, but sometimes there's stones, sometimes there's weeds. It's emotional because you see a lot of good kids though, but they have a lot of hurt, right? So that's the stones, that's the weeds. But when you can teach them, we don't save them, we teach them how to save themselves. And when they go through that process and they learn how to remove the stones and the weeds from their own life, that's why we see such great results. And it's very exciting, very encouraging. It's very hard work what we do. We do get tired, but the reward is great. So it's definitely worth it.
It's so important. I know we were talking before we started filming about how tired we get. And it's so wild. I feel like for myself, like I grew up, this is so dear to my heart because I grew up struggling with a lot of depression. Yes. I didn't even know what depression was. I just knew that I was like
some things with me when we met for the first time.
Yeah, I would just like lay in my bed and like watch the time tick by. And now I do it in the studio. It's a little bit more fun because I'm making sure my segments are on point, but then it wasn't fun at all. And I remember being like 12 years old, about to turn 13. I begged my mom to let me get a job. I had to lie about my age, sorry guys, because I was like, I got to get out of the house. And I think about how you're talking about them identifying that dream within their heart. Sometimes you need something to hope for.
Yeah,
you need something to push for. For me, I kind of like injected a future career, a future dream into that
It
hope.
helps. It does.
It helps so much. And then, now I lean on that so much. The systems that I've put into place, the things that I've learned.
Yes.
I realize, oh my goodness, like there is so much that you can do and change. But I think having that future goal is impactful.
It is so important. Matter of fact, researchers say that 95% of anybody who ever has a dream quits along the way because nobody ever told them that obstacles, delays, and detours are part of that path. So when we have a dream, we don't visualize the problems and the delays, right? And so when they come, we think, oh, I must have the wrong dream and I must have the wrong vision. But the reality is obstacles, delays, and detours are every path to greatness. Nobody gets to greatness without them. And it usually means you're on the right path. And so telling young people, hey, that means you're probably on the right path is so much stronger than only having 5% quit, because people don't know that that's part of the journey. And so also tied to what you said, having that dream, and talking about your dream and hanging on to it, if you have that dream, then you may not want to do drugs. You may not want to do this. You may not want to get involved in bad behavior or poor choices that will keep you from getting to your dream. But if you don't have a vision, then many times those things, you're more susceptible to those things coming into your life.
So
thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. And thank you for what you just said, because as you were talking about the delays and obstacles, I saw them as the stones and weeds that you guys are helping people resolve. Because when we're trying to achieve something, we're really just trying to have the best life we can. We come into this world, these perfect little sweet baby beings, and we just want to feel loved, seen, known, and then we get into the world and we get these obstacles along the way. I know we have a video, and then coming up next is your wife.
Yes.
What? It's 2 for 2?
She's a rock star.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, don't go anywhere, you guys. We're going to check out this video, and then we're going to come right back with Jodi Hannah.
Every single team that spent the time to instill this program was successful.
Obstacles, delays, detours, and failures are every path to greatness. No one gets to greatness without them. And many times, those things mean you're on the right path.
We've reported several times on the Ambassadors of Compassion, which is a program meant to help teenagers find themselves and plan goals for the future.
Ambassadors of Compassion have found a formula to help have conversations and break down barriers and deal with things and not run from them.
As young people, we have a fire, a boldness the world can't ignore. And when that boldness meets compassion, walls fall, hearts open, and lives are changed. We are the generation that doesn't wait. We show up. We stand up. We speak life into broken places. Wherever we go, our schools, our cities, our screens, we lead with love. And to give even when it costs. So here's our mission. We are ambassadors of compassion, and together we will change the world.
Welcome back to the McCord List. Today, you guys, it is 2 for 2. I hope you loved that video we just showed because we are sitting down with the co-developer and executive director of Ambassadors of Compassion. Hi, Jodi.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, we just got to sit down with hubby.
Yep.
The whole family's
Amazing.
here. We're making it happen.
We have our kids in studio.
This is amazing.
Our teenagers, we're very excited.
Yes, and speaking of having kids, you're a mama like
I
me,
am.
of course, and so I know these topics
right.
are so dear to your heart. Can you talk a little bit about what we just saw in the video?
Yeah, well, I mean, we do stadium events, so we saw, we launched thousands at SoFi, at the Rose Bowl. We're going to be doing the Galaxy here at the end of the summer, July 25th, and we love seeing the impact come to today's youth. I know personally, I had to go through so much inner healing just because of my upbringing. So many of us, right? I know you have a fascinating story as well, but if we don't learn to overcome our negative experiences and to forgive, life is not the same, right? We just get stuck in these endless cycles and we lash out from those areas. We either shut down. I find it's like you either freeze and shut down or you lash out from those areas of pain that you have not dealt with.
That's so true. And I think about my own journey. I love how you called it fascinating. I was like, it wasn't very fascinating in the moment.
Rachel, so fascinating.
It's fascinating now when I'm in a boardroom and I'm like, oh,
exactly.
Let me tell you about some trauma. They're like, what? But
so true.
But in those moments, it's so hard. But I remember very specifically, there was one time when I was in my car listening to music, and I just felt like I just have some forgiving to do. And I said a prayer, and then I sent a message to someone who, if there was like a hierarchy, a ladder of like pain, I'm like, you won! You got to the very top of capacity.
Yep.
And I sent that message, and I'm not even joking, I felt like I was flying. Like I felt physically so much lighter that I literally ended up calling 911 on myself. Oh my God. I thought I was dying. I was like, I feel so light. Actually, I felt really light. I actually might feel too light. Am I still in my? It was really
the power of forgiveness.
The power of forgiveness. Like
Right.
it was so wild. They came back there. No, you're fine. I'm like, oh, I guess I just had a lot carrying.
Wow.
So it's really a physical feeling of a spiritual choice.
That's right.
And it transforms you. And I think about as a parent how many times we watch our babies have to go through hard things. No matter how old they get, they're always our babies. Like, what would you say is most important for children in how to release this?
Well, I think that's such a good question because, I'm in the teenage years. So you go through so many different stages. But one of the values that we've really held on to is talking. And it's challenging when you teach your kids to talk and tell you, tell you things about yourself, how you hurt them, how other people have hurt them. It's a lot that you have to start engaging with. But giving them the tools to learn about forgiveness, to realize that negative experiences don't have to destroy their life, doesn't have to define them, that actually as we embrace pain, it's the mindset, right? Like if I had a lot of pain points in my childhood as well. As I looked at those as opportunities to grow, suddenly I'm overcoming and I'm finding myself more resilient. It's like I have grit to take on the dreams and the goals. You don't just walk into your dream ready. You have to become ready. And I think overcoming is a huge way in which we are able to take on the challenges that come with our goals and our dreams. So teaching our kids that, as they go through different stages, it's like we've had to forgive each other in our family. And then, you always have to forgive. We actually really talk about a forgiving lifestyle because I think especially in today's world, we're always having to forgive, whether it's small or big. But it's huge. It's a foundation for the way to live life.
I couldn't agree more. And I love that you called it a forgiving lifestyle because I think that really is it. You need it when you're in the grocery store. You need it when you're watching the news.
Yes,
you need it all the
that's
time.
right.
And I think just remembering as you're scrolling through social media, like the truth is that like if you feel any type of way that's not great about a person on the other side of it, we just need, like for me, I just pray for them. Like that's like my flow because I'm literally like, bless them, pray, whatever you do. Like it's just important to like send love in that space because I look at at it like those are like little closets and corners and gardens in your soul.
Right.
So if I'm letting something take root, then I'm actually not flushing that out. But
That's
by
right.
saying a prayer for them, I'm actually flushing that out of me
Yes.
and blessing them. And I've had those moments where, of course, like living in Hollywood, like, you know, I like, if I was like, if you just moved to Hollywood, my one rule is like, don't make any enemies. Like, don't do that. Cause like, you never know like where things
It's a small town.
It's a small town. And it's so funny because I'm from Georgia. Like I just try to be genuinely nice.
Yeah.
So, but along the way, especially my sister in entertainment, you meet people and you kind of feel a little used along the way. And I remember there were seasons of my life where I would start to feel like, someone's kind of taken advantage, but then you take that back and you're like, wait a minute, like there's something bigger here.
That's right, because we can't control others, ever, really. We can control ourselves, right? So I love that you said that, because forgiveness it's oftentimes for our own health, for our own heart, so that we can actually love people better. We can love that person that hurt us better, right? I love what you said, where it's like you were floating to the sky once you got rid of that, because forgiveness, it really does just cleanse us, and it helps us, you know, really interact with people and love people in a powerful way. And I think today's generation has to be equipped with these tools. And we all have to come alongside. Yeah, so that's why we're really excited about our digital product on forgiveness that really walks through the practical steps, because I think forgiveness can feel ominous at times. Oh, I want to forgive, but how do I actually do it? And so we go through a process of face it, release it, replace it, and it gives a practical guide.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to get into all of that. We'll be right back after this commercial break, you guys. I'm Rachel McCord on the McCord List today. Don't go anywhere. We're about to get into it. Welcome back to the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord, sitting down with Jodi Hannah from Ambassadors of Compassion. Oh my goodness, you guys really are rocking compassion. You are helping people
We try.
take it on themselves.
Yeah.
I loved having Eric on earlier, your husband, talking about how you don't just save them, you help them learn how to save themselves.
That's right.
This program is incredible. You've helped over 100,000 children. And so now we're going to get into the practical steps.
Yes.
How do we bring this into our homes?
We are passionate about actually giving steps, because I think inner healing it really can just be that ethereal, ominous, like everybody knows they've got areas in their heart that they need to overcome, people they need to forgive. But the practical steps is where we really start to break it down. And so like with forgiveness, we have it face it, release it, replace it. And it really came from Eric and I soul searching. How have we gotten free of things? How have we really forgiven these people that I didn't know how we were going to forgive, right? You know, some of those wounds are so deep. How do you actually forgive? And the key is you have to feel it in order to heal it. So you have to be willing. I think forgiveness is one of the most brave things we can do, because you really do have to deep dive back into your pain. And then once you really release it, then you have to replace it as you go through life. And so we walk that through in our guide on how to forgive.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And I love what you were saying about having to face it, because I think sometimes we feel, if I go into this storm, I'll never get out.
That's
like,
right.
how many times have you felt yourself just like ugly sobbing?
Yes.
And you're like, I don't know what to do, but there really
Right.
is a pathway out.
There is a pathway out, and many times those tears are such a gift, because if we really, that's a part of releasing it, right? There's actually scientific healing as we cry, and it balances us. I think our culture today is all about avoidance, and we have to turn it back into facing. So as we face, we become stronger. As we face, we're able to release it because we're able to feel it. And I love what you're saying. The ugly cries, how many times, I don't know, my mom used to say to me, and I say it to my kids, it's like, I think you just need an ugly cry. Like, you just need to cry it out. And that is part of releasing it, getting it out of your system, getting it out of your body, feeling it.
But I do think that releasing it is not just regurgitating the trauma and sharing it on every platform, every moment.
Yes,
Like,
well said.
Don't refeed someone else your trauma.
That's right.
Let's actually take it and take control of it, and know
Yes.
that trauma is not your fault, but it does become your responsibility.
That's right. And a lot of times, in it being our responsibility, it becomes our identity. And that, you have to break that as well. We have to break up with our sad stories. You know, a lot of times it's those narratives that maybe it even gets us a little more attention or a little more comfort. And so we get in this pattern of keeping a sad story on repeat. We have to be willing to find our true identities. I think that is so key, because if you're not really willing to step into the new, it's hard to let go of the old.
100%. Now, you are a mama of a boy and a girl.
That's right.
So you've probably seen, of course, I've heard, I only have my one son, and he's more than I could ever hope for. He's my dream. But I know that for me, it's very important that I help my son learn how to process his emotions. Because I think the world kind of tells men, hold it, like, be strong, like, don't be this, don't be that. And it's so sad, because I'm like, I actually see my son, he's so sensitive. Growing up as a woman, like, in a house of pretty much all girls, like, I'm the youngest of 3 girls. Everybody's like, there's so much female going on. And all my friends being like very strong personalities, it's really like, actually, like, almost like a message I didn't get until I became a mom of a boy, of how sensitive boys are.
Yes.
Can you speak to how you've seen it as a parent with boy and girl life?
Yes. I 100% agree. My boy has had a tender heart from the day he was born. You know, I think his dad, right, who we just heard from, has really a big heart, an emotional heart. Boy, just because you are a boy does not mean that you do not have a big heart that needs to know, to know how to process it. Especially, my son's even a volunteer firefighter. He's worked in fatality situations where he's had to process. I love men and raising a boy into a man who knows how to process their emotions, who knows how to steward their heart, who knows how to not harden their heart when bad things happen. And so absolutely, it's critical that we teach our boys that it's okay to feel, it's okay to heal, it's okay to love well, to know how to guard your heart, but not get stuck in shielding your heart too much, right? I think a lot of men shut down, or they don't know how to process. So it's huge as a mom to get in there with them and teach them how to heal and feel and love well. I think that's what we need as men today, right?
Yes. Now, what do you feel like moms really could do right now in their homes to help instill that, help our children grow into all that they were created to be?
I think having conversations, deeper conversations, getting to the heart level, and then tuning into when your kids feel off. Maybe it's what's going on today. Did something happen? I'm a mom of teens. There's a million situations I wish I could go back and parent differently. I think every single mom feels that. But at the end of the day, I go, you know what? My kids talk to me. They talk to their dad, my husband. They talk to their friends. They have strong communities, and that is what we have to have, because life is difficult. Life is wonderful, but it always has road bumps. Challenges come to all of us, comes to them. It's the hardest thing to see, but if you've taught your kids how to navigate the bumpy patches of life, I think you've done a great job.
That's incredible. I love how you've taken this very successful career in film and television,
right,
and now you're literally helping people navigate the bumps of life. Can you talk a little bit about some highlights that you and Eric have had from your career that have just been like really encouraging and inspiring? I think it's great for our...
Well, Hollywood is, like you said, no picnic for anybody, and it's a unique town, and it's a small town. People think it's this huge, Hollywood, but it's actually inside, it's a knit community. I moved to LA when I was 17 years old, so I got emancipated and moved down on my own to the ghettos of Los Angeles and faced a million challenges. I was actually on camera at the time. But going behind camera, we've done live TV, we've done movies, total chaos, right? Controlled chaos. It's like we've had to learn to overcome and forgive as a way of life. But I think, doing Ambassadors, our second movie, we actually had an offer from Warner Brothers that we turned down, and we ended up doing the Giving Hope tour across America, Canada, Mexico, Australia. We raised over $120 million in gift in kind for kids and families in need. It was the start of this, what felt like a detour at the time, into the emotional mental health space. I feel like that is almost one of the biggest highlights. It's always a highlight now. In fact, after this interview, I'm off to a kickoff in the Antelope Valley with hundreds of students. I love seeing the students. Today's generation is one of the most powerful generations that I've ever known. And we all have to come alongside and support them into their most powerful self. Going back to the Giving Hope tour, where we gave $120 million of life aid to families in need, was a huge highlight. It's where we really started to see kind of the diamond in the rough in this generation.
Wow. I love that you've taken this incredible journey in your career and what you felt like might have been a bizarre detour actually seems to have brought you into not only the joy of your heart and probably that thing that you're going to continue to look back at over the years and just be so grateful that you did it, because we just, our heartbeats are so precious in this life, and how we spend them is so important. And I love that you guys have made this choice for the world to make an impact. And it's just, it's so beautiful to see.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. I love how you say don't waste a heartbeat, right? Every heartbeat matters, every life matters, and every moment counts.
Yeah, 100%. It's why I started my Holy Spirit vibe.
I love it.
I was literally like, I got to bring some love into the world and make an impact.
You're
because
doing
I
it.
think we just thank you so much. I think the lesson that I've continually had to remind myself is that we all have a platform, and your platform might not be the platform that you think it's going to be. It might not be the thing that you thought you were being called to, but you can still come alive in that and use every heartbeat to make an impact, even just to show someone a smile, show someone kindness, just show them that you're there with them, because you never know how much it costs someone to show up. You never know how much it costs someone to push through the adversities in their life. I do think that as the world becomes faster and faster and the pressure is higher and higher, there's more of a call and need for this encouragement and love and light in the dark moments.
That's right. In the everyday moments throughout our days, it's critical. You know, I love that saying, be kind to everyone, for you don't know what battles they're facing. So many times when people are doing something where, you know, it hurts or they need forgiveness, it's because they have their own struggle going on. And if that's really where ambassadors of compassion, that we can show this world compassion.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you for
So
being
good
the whole
to see
family.
you. I
It's
know.
so good to see you. I'm so excited.
Thank
you.
you.
This was amazing. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. That is our show on the McCord List today. I'm Rachel McCord. I cannot wait to see you next time. Be sure to check out Ambassadors of Compassion and see how you can be an ambassador of compassion in your world, no matter how small or big that platform is. Use it, love the world, and show a little bit more light in all that you do. I'll see you soon.